Hey art class. All right, so this is going to be the learning portion of our junk sculpting project. So I know that we watched some very scary videos about plastic and how it's taken over the world. And a lot of you hopefully didn't have nightmares Friday night. Um, so I kind of wanted to take a different turn on your learning portion, okay? And make it a little more fun. You guys can learn all about plastic and debris and garbage of the sea. You can learn about recycling. I put a bunch of playlists up, so use those as references, okay? But as we were talking about, when we do these learning lessons, we always have like a particular artist that we focus on, or a group of artists we focus on, or style. Well, junk, of course, is going to be our style. We've already learned about one group of artists, the wash to shore artists that create with such wonderful imaginations. They use garbage, of course, to create with, right? Right. Um, Also, if you can get to the bottom of the playlist and check out those amazing sculptors, artists, designers from Dakar, and just get your brain flowing, you'll just see how innovative junk sculptors and junk artists can be with the materials that they have. So that's just awesome. That kind of stuff excites me. But I thought that I would talk to you about your featured artist. That's right, your featured artist. Okay, it's a little bit embarrassing because a lot of people probably wouldn't consider me an artist. I just kind of do stuff. You know, I dabble. I like to learn about stuff. I love to learn about where art comes from, inspirations, backgrounds. You're in my class. So I wanted to give you a little back history about me. And then as I've been thinking about it, because as I'm teaching, it makes me reminisce, and then I start remembering things about myself. Well, I wanted to talk to you about some of the things that I think have shaped me into the person that loves doing art the way I do it now. Because you guys, block 1 and block 2, you guys are in the age frame that I was in, where I feel like my art heart really grew. I had a couple of big moments, people in my life that kind of changed some things for me. And I kind of wanted to talk to you about it because you guys might have that going on right now. And I want you to be hopeful and joyful that you've had these experiences, or at least recognize them as they come along. Because I think, again, everything about your life is going to make you and build you up to be great people, great artists, just, you know, greatness. So, since that's our goal, right? To be better every day, be better people, and to serve better, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about me. Now, if it gets a little bit boring, then maybe you can use me as like your bedtime story. I'm really sorry. I will try to not make it boring, but I don't know. So, here we go. When I was little, block 1 little, so that means between TK and 2nd grade, I'm pretty old, so what I wanted to tell you is something kind of crazy happened, and it was the first time in my life that I saw something on the news that made me go, because I actually started understanding. Because, at your age, you understand. Like, when you're walking by and you see some news, you think, oh, because you're more aware, right? I don't know if you guys still get the newspaper, but my parents used to get the newspaper. That's how we got the news, and also the local news. But I was starting to read, right? Block 1, you're learning how to read. I mean, we're not great readers at that point, but we know by the pictures what's going on, right? Well, when I was your age, there was an oil tanker called the Exxon Valdez, and it started leaking oil all over the ocean. It was totally freaky. And the news showed all these pictures of these birds covered in oil and all these animals covered in oil, and they talked about how difficult it was to clean them off so that they could be normal again, and how tragic it was. And I've been your age before, and at that time I know how you were feeling because I'm starting to remember how I was feeling too. I felt like I'm seeing all these crazy things and I don't really know what or how to think about them, right? Nowadays, you have YouTube, you have Siri. I mean, you could talk to Siri. You could do Google. You have all these resources where you could just look it up. But when I was your age, I would have to talk to adults and learn more. Of course, we had the World Book Encyclopedia, but really it was about research. And if you were into something, you had to look it up. But since I wasn't a great reader, and nobody really wants to talk about that kind of stuff all of the time like I did because I was curious, I found a way to talk myself through it, I think, because now that I'm thinking about it, it was probably the best thing for me. And maybe some of you TK Block 1 people up to 2nd grade, maybe you guys feel the same way, and I want to know. I created a huge thing that I called my movies. In my movies, I used to use receipt paper. That's right, receipt paper. Actually, we owned restaurants, so I had clean receipt paper. It kind of looks like a big roll of toilet paper, but it's literally paper that goes into the receipt thing. But I used to use these things to create movies about my very special character that I created called Penny the Penguin. And what Penny the Penguin did is she was my heroine. She defended the earth, she defended the animals, she just did all the things. She slayed the dragon for me that I couldn't slay. She solved the world's problems for me because I was too little to know what to do or how to do it. So I told a story about a penguin that could do it. Now, Penny the Penguin, her first movie, I used to wrap these up super cute. They were very special and you had to have VIP access to actually see them. I don't know that many people actually saw them. I think I only showed my parents one of them, but they knew where my box was, so they probably were looking at it. But these were just, they were special to me because I think I was talking from my heart and talking with hope, or not talking, I guess I was arting with hope from my heart. But these little things, I had them wrapped up really, really tightly, okay, like this. And if you wanted to watch my movie, you'd have to get a pencil, this was super big stuff, and you would pull it, and you would see this is Penny the Penguin, me getting caught in an oil spill. Where'd I get that idea? Then Penny the Penguin met Wendy, who was a person that was trying to save all of those animals from the oil spill. She was cleaning them up. Then Penny and Wendy became great friends, and they made a pact to help save the rest of the animals that were affected by the oil spill. And then they made a pact that they would make it their best friend's goal to save the world from all the danger and destruction. Yay! Yeah, I know that was my little head, my little art heart working. Okay, kind of like the art in movement. We talked about that in February. Your art can come from your heart. It can create awareness. It can make people want to do things. And really, that's what Penny the Penguin, that's what she was doing in my art projects. Penny the Penguin made a friend named Peter. She and Peter, they talked to the world about the holes in the ozone layer because it was melting their, it was melting their ice homes. She did everything from doing that to telling people to pick up their trash. She was an awesome heroine to have. And she was my creation. But as a little artist, things like that can be really special. They can be really helpful at helping you to understand things that you don't like. It can give you hope because you are able to create characters that can do the things that you wish you could do right now, but you're too young to. So if you're already doing stuff like that, great, save it. I wish I had my stuff to show you, but my parents don't know where my box went. I had a little special box that I would put all of my movies in. And they were all, I mean, it must have just looked like a bunch, because I did a bunch of them over time. It went from Penny the Penguin to fighting bullies to doing your best at sports. I mean, it was a very special collection of these little round receipt things. So that was where I got my start. But again, fast forward into my later years, my Block 2 years, we're talking middle school-ish ages, right? Older, up into close to middle school. I had my first experience with celebrating the very first, that's right, the very first Earth Day. It was more like Earth Days. I explained this in class because not everybody did it on the same day. I mean, I think worldwide some countries were celebrating in March. Some states like Austin, Earth Day is going to be this day, and California, this day. So it was really kind of weird. But we celebrated our Earth Day. We actually brought awareness to it through our Earth Club, because my art teacher started the very first school Earth Club. Ow. It was awesome. But he taught us some things that I just realized now that I'm trying to do with you, because those were things that touched me and made me more aware and more active as an artist. He made us make posters, first of all, in our Earth Club. There's only 6 of us, you know, I mean, it really wasn't a big club, but we had responsibilities, man. We made posters to make the whole school aware that there was an Earth Day coming up. We raised money through t-shirts that were designed by some of our better artists in the class, and that money actually helped us get one of the very first recycle bins. That's right, we had to buy our recycle bin, and they were expensive, but we were able to make that happen for the school. I'm kind of thinking that my teacher had to still, even though we bought that very expensive recycle bin, and it was just one, I think my teacher might have been taking all the junk from the recycle bins and I think he had to take it to the recycle bin himself. I'm really not sure that there was a service that did that for us to our school at that time, but I'm not sure. But still, it was awesome. He encouraged us to think about placement, because it was our job to figure out where it should go, that where most of the student body would be more prone to put their recycling in instead of just throwing it in the garbage can. He also helped us lead the very first Earth Day assembly at my school, which was a huge deal because I had a humongous middle school. Huge. We have a very small school in comparison. I think my school had almost 900 kids in it, so it was broken up into 2 assemblies. But anyway, he taught us to learn how to do a visual slideshow of images about the topics that were near and dear to our hearts. There were 6 of us, so some of us paired together, some of us did ours on our own. I did mine on my own, and mine was on, of course, the hole in the ozone layer. I grew up a golfer, spent lots and lots of hours under the sun. After my Penny the Penguin days, I was a little bit concerned about the hole in the ozone layer, so the best way I thought I could learn more was to do some research. But I was given the freedom to compile a bunch of images, whether they were from magazines or from the news, and make a beautiful, well, not video, because it was before video. We did a slideshow, so I had slides of images that went with music, that went with my voice, and the things I wanted to say per each slide. You know, when they say that an image is worth like 1,000 words, it's true. And he gave us the experience to create that. So growing up, I was blessed to have some just amazing influences in my life. My art teacher is right here. It's probably the reason why I like to do the things I do right now. And I wanted you to know that occasionally in your life, there's going to be things that happen. If you're young and you don't know what to do, draw, paint, journal, do what you got to do to get it out of your heart, because it'll make you feel better. And then later on, it will influence you as you grow. As you get older, know that your artwork can make a difference. You just have to think about what's going on and how you can do it. Okay? So there's my story. I hope it's helped some of you guys get a little bit more inspired. I will see you Friday.